We are coming to you today from the East Gallery of the Rhode Island House of Representatives. In fact, this area here is where you'll often see citizens, school groups, tourists, people that come by the State House and watch the General Assembly proceedings. In fact, they might often be watching the gentleman that stands immediately to my right. He's the Honorable State Representative Jim McLaughlin. Representative, it's great to see you.
Pleasure to meet you, Dave. Again.
Well, listen, I've been following you of late because you've been in the media a lot. You're concerned about this war memorial in Woonsocket that, again, much like the old Cranston school banner, has come under fire as a possible violation of church and state, and this war memorial that has been dedicated to fallen men and women who served in our armed services is under scrutiny. That has you upset. Tell our viewers about some legislation that you have suggested.
Basically, my bill is of a secular nature, Dave. Okay, it refers to monuments as historical documents that have been put in place, handed down from generation to generation, to basically preserve and protect deeds of extreme valor and heroism for our fallen soldiers, police, firefighters, and for these people to take offense to it. I say to them, if they had an A on the top of their memorial, I'd probably recognize it. So leave us alone. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You mean if they happen to be an atheist, you mean?
Exactly.
Okay. I know that you, along with my friend General Centracchio, you had a demonstration showing your support of this war memorial in Woonsocket. You had a big turnout, huge crowd there.
They anticipated a crowd between 1,500 and 2,000. The general drew the line in the sand. I want to take this time to thank the Woonsocket state reps, the leadership for getting back at us in this house, for preserving our heritage. And with that said, I look at Normandy, I look at Arlington Cemetery, and this morning I was reflecting on the Arizona, where the monument of the Arizona, Pearl Harbor. Mm-hmm. You go, there's crosses all over the place.
Yeah, and that's really what the issue was here. This particular memorial, I can't remember exactly when it was erected, but it was a long time ago.
1921.
1921. It has a cross at the top, yeah, a Christian cross. Exactly. And that same organization that called into question that school banner, that prayer banner, yeah, wrote a letter to the Woonsocket City Council or the mayor or someone there, right? And that's how this all came up again. But there's been no litigation or anything like that filed. Has a representative?
It's my understanding that the Woonsocket has to reply this week towards the on the litigation, and I look forward to talking with the mayor of Woonsocket on the response. People all over the country are really upset. Pepin's Lumber. There's over 25,000 crosses going up all over the state of Rhode Island. So it's going to be interesting. I would ask everybody to come up Thursday after the rise at 4 o'clock. The bill will be heard in judiciary.
Oh, right, that's right. It's happening this week in House Judiciary, your bill. So essentially, you're calling these monuments, you're putting them in the same category as historical documents, and they would be exempted from the religious connotation. Is that the best way of explaining it?
The religious connotation, exactly. They're secular monuments, and basically they're of historical significance. They give times, dates, places of fallen war heroes, and you know, I look forward to challenging these people who disagree. I call them pinheads, but you call them whatever you want.
Yeah, you have called them that. You've been quoted, in fact. The question is, Rep, do you have the votes to get your legislation passed?
I believe I do. I believe I do, and you know, it's about time. I figured, this is just my own personal thing, but they looked at Woonsocket, they knew Woonsocket didn't have any money, and they saw a perfect opportunity to express their own self-interest. Well, I look and I say they picked on the wrong people.
Well, listen, I'll tell you one thing, Rep, you've done, and I can say this unequivocally. Whether your bill makes it out of committee or not still remains to be seen. Whether you have the votes or not still remains to be seen. You're optimistic. I'll go along with that. One thing that you've done for sure, you've created awareness for the tremendous sacrifices that men and women have made on behalf of our military, our armed services, the caregivers, the first responders, the firefighters, the police officers. If nothing else, you've made a lot of people take a moment and pay homage to the men and women who have sacrificed so much for the rest of us.
Myself, like you included, Dave, I know you do a lot for the veterans, and Capital TV's been great. And the leadership is really giving me support behind us.
You know what? And I have a sneaking suspicion that monument in Woonsocket isn't going anywhere.
It won't be moved an inch. It'll be over my dead body.
Hey, listen, I certainly, even though you guys are not necessarily spring chickens, I wouldn't want to take on either you or the general right now. You're in pretty good shape, both of you, and I want to thank you, Representative McLaughlin, for talking to us about it, and I wish you and your supporters the very, very best.
Thank you, Dave.
It's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure being on Capital TV with you.
This guy does about 300 push-ups a day, 200
100.
sit-ups. The guy is, let me tell you what, he is not to be messed with. It's always great having the rep here. It's always great having you here as well for Capital Television. I'm Dave Barber.